If only I knew that stress truly does kill sailors. Like stress kills sailors. Schedules. No. Start over. Hello, friends, and welcome to today's episode.
And in today's episode, at the time of this episode, we were traveling for 2 months, full time on the sailboat. And we want to share with you the discoveries, the lessons learned, things we wish we knew after full-time travel, 2 months on a sailboat. Hope you enjoy this episode.
If only I knew how easy it was to stay in contact with my friends. It was something I was really worried about, but just a few minutes ago I just got off the phone with my friend who we were chatting for like an hour, so it was really cool. I thought it'd be a lot harder to stay in contact with my friends, but it turns out it's not that hard.
The number of great people that we've met out on the water. We've met so many nice, kind, just wonderful people. We show up at a marina and they're like, hey, we're so impressed with what you're doing and the opportunities that you're providing to your daughter, and they want to give you their car to go get your provisions. And then in addition, like, we've had friends at the marina there in Kima, and we've ran into them along the journey. Shout outs to our friends Mike and Michelle at Sunset Episodes. Michelle and Doug, we ran into them. Ashley, Lee, and Josh. Sailing Slow Motion. We've run into all of these friends that we knew from Kima on our journey up here along the East Coast. It's just been so amazing. So many wonderful people that you see in the marina and outside of the marina. Boaters are just fantastic people. Oh, but I wanted to add. In addition to seeing those people that we already knew and some of the new people that we've met, we've even met some of you. We met Dennis and Marie, fantastic people. We got to meet Ken, who watches the episodes on our channel. And there's so many more of you that we hope to get to meet along our journey as we move up the East Coast this fall.
If only I knew how easy it was to clean the bottom. I was so scared previously.
Actually dive the bottom of the boat. It used to be scary to me. I don't know, something about going under the boat.
It's claustrophobic. It can get dark if the water's murky.
Part of it is holding your breath.
It's just scary. The boat's rocking.
It's not scary, and it actually is a peaceful and calm thing once you get comfortable with it.
It took me 3 attempts before I built up enough nerves. 3 different events, different anchorings, that I finally realized just go under the boat, put your hand above you, kind of hold yourself below the boat, and you can work on things. You can change the zincs, you can scrub the bottom, you can scrub the barnacles. It's actually quite relaxing.
So that's something we've discovered in the last 2 months that I think it's worthy of sharing, and it's going to save a lot of money not having to hire a diver to do that for us.
You did cut yourself on a barnacle once, though.
Barnacles are sharp.
We've heard that schedules kill sailors. A lot of our sailing friends have told us this when we lived in Kima, and it's so true. Before we left Kima, we had a flight booked because Olivia has braces, and we have to fly back to Houston about every 8 weeks. So we booked a flight. We got a great deal. It was fantastic. We were going to leave from Savannah, Georgia, and it was going to be great. But then we got into Tropical Storm Claudette along the way. We had Hurricane Elsa, and it threw us off, and so we had to back our flight up a couple of weeks. But it just seems like when you have a destination that you have to be at by a certain date, it feels almost impossible. Matt experienced it when he was crossing the Gulf back in February with a friend of ours, and he had a meeting he had to get to, and it just puts so much more pressure on you trying to meet those deadlines. It's just not safe. It's not feasible. So we've learned the statement, schedules kill sailors, is a true statement.
If only I knew how much I loved snorkeling. It's like a totally different world down there. It's really cool to see everything, and there's just so much down there to learn about and to see and to explore.
What about really in Taverna?
Yeah, it was fun.
Taverna Key, when you had the fishes come up to you? What were you doing?
we were feeding them like little crackers. Like we'd break the cracker up, and it was fun. So they kept swimming up at us, and it's just so much fun.
So in the last 2 months, we've learned and discovered that after 12 months of preparing back in Kima, preparing the boat, mostly preparing ourselves, our skills, our confidence, everything else, there's really something to be said about just going for it. Because the amount of learning that's happened in 2 months, I feel like maybe the equivalent of 2 to 3 years of what we learned in the bay and in the marina. So I kind of think what that means is we weren't able to leave any earlier, but maybe if you're watching the video and your boat's somewhat ready, your finances are somewhat ready, and I think that's about all. You're able to leave, but you don't feel like you're ready, I say just go for it. Because the first week, the first 2 weeks, the first 8 weeks, you're going to learn so much and grow so much, it'll just blow your mind.
So if only I knew that groceries would be a challenge on anchor compared to being in a marina. When we were at the marina, it was easy. I had my car, I would get in the car, I would go pick up groceries, or I would do a Kroger instant car delivery. And pretty much we've been able to easily get groceries along the way because we stopped at a few marinas and just kind of provisioned up. But we have had opportunities to provision from our dinghy, and Olivia and I were ready to go. We took a few bags, we had our list, we all talked about the list, didn't think twice about it. Olivia and I walked to the store, we load up the grocery cart with everything on the list, and we put it in our bags, and the bags are so heavy. We couldn't carry them. We were supposed to walk back to where we were to meet Matt in the dinghy so he could get us back to the boat, and we couldn't carry all the stuff. So I had to Uber.
You Ubered.
I Ubered back, and then Matt took the groceries and Olivia back to the boat.
I had to make 3 trips.
He had to take the diesel back to the boat because he took the diesel cans up, and then he had to come back and get me. So it was a journey. So now we've learned, especially when we're not someplace where we can all walk together and get the groceries. You know, we make a short list. You gotta play off the short list for groceries.
Stick to the list. I've also learned that she likes to use me as the mule.
Yeah, he's got these muscles, so it works.
She must think I'm an ass.
No, don't.
All right. Okay, if only I knew that it's more than just watching the wind or the waves before we plan a trip. And hopefully we'll share how we plan looking at weather in a coming episode, but if only I knew it's more than wind and waves. It's cape values, it's pressure, it's precipitation, it's all the other things that go along with weather that we've discovered are very important. Yeah, you might be able to handle the wind and waves, but do you want the squall hitting you at 2 a.m., you know? And so we've gone through that a couple times, and we've learned when planning for a passage, we don't just look at wind and waves, we also look at all those other factors. It's just comfort. Do you want to be comfortable? Sure, your boat can handle it, but do you want to be comfortable?
If only I knew how easy it was to anchor. We're on anchor right now, but when we first started anchoring 12 months ago, it was not this easy. We would show up to an anchorage such as Offutt's Bayou or Noah's Ark, and we wouldn't sleep all night because we were afraid the batteries were going to die. Matt would get up and check them every so many hours. He would turn on the engine in the middle of the night because the batteries would die. And the next morning we'd wake up and the engine almost didn't start. And then there was times even recently, because we were still learning, where we went to go turn on the generator and the battery was dead because we weren't charging it because we've been off of shore power, and it was a shore power thing that we didn't even think about. So it's gotten to be so much easier. We have lost some of those insecurities. We have our provisions. We have our ability to move the dinghy with the oars and the gas. It wasn't always easy. I think the first time we ever went and anchored, we didn't bring all the right supplies. We didn't have gas for the dinghy. We had left the oars on the dock, so we're stuck to the boat. We were going to go out to eat, so we didn't actually buy any groceries extra for the boat. The motor. So all of those things that we did 12 months ago, they're like a thing of the past now, and we're so much more comfortable. It's so much easier and so much more relaxing. I think we even sleep through the night now. So that's fantastic. Thanks for watching today's episode. We hope you enjoyed our 8 discoveries since we've been traveling full time for the last 2 months.
Definitely. And in real time right now, we are a few weeks ahead of where the YouTube videos are. We've made it up to the Chesapeake Bay, and we're safe from hurricane season. Beautiful 70-degree weather.
It's gorgeous.
It's lovely. And so we have several episodes to share with you to catch you up to where we are, and we hope you stick around and watch those. Thanks again, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks.